I'd like to call this meeting of the Tweed New Haven Airport Authority Environmental Stewardship Committee meeting to order. It's December 17th at 2:06. First order of business is the approval of the minutes from December or October 15th meeting. I have a
So
motion.
moved. Second.
Discussion, comments? All right, thank you. With that, they're approved. I'm sorry, take a vote, I guess, right? All right. Next we have the noise website update. Jeremy, do you have an update on that? Or Tom?
On the noise website?
Yeah, it was I guess it's the Enviro suite now.
Yep. So yesterday the web track went live. So currently and today I had made a link between our website on the community resources page, which will direct users to that dashboard. And so everyone will be able to log in, see the local aircraft calling in from Hawaii, Tom.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
And so users will be able to go in now and access the WebTrack dashboard, which will show local aircraft activity. It'll include information on each of the aircraft. Importantly, it will also include historical data. So people are able to go back in and look at a past instance of overhead aircraft. And so they could just type in the date and time, go back, and then they can also see its point of closest approach, which essentially will give the information on its altitude at that time of passing overhead.
And I just asked Melena to send out the link so the members of the committee have that too.
Great.
Thanks, Tom. The sound insulation project next phase, we're looking at, I believe, 12 homes, and we're awaiting contracts from Jones Payne. I think that's correct, Jeremy. And hopefully we'll have that for the, I think, January or February board meeting. Any other updates on that, Jeremy, that we should know about?
Nope. As soon as we execute it, we'll be able to gain some traction on that project.
Thank you. And as it relates to the Enviro Suite product, we had a public meeting. Tom, can you give us a quick recap on that, please?
Yep. So we held a public meeting, and we were able to bring down two representatives from EnviroSuite who were able to walk through the dashboard, explain how it works, and alongside that, we were able to provide a handout, which is a brochure that I'll also make sure is on our website, which provides some instructions on how to use the system. But the meeting went well. People were able to ask questions. And we'll continue to communicate about the program as we continue to roll it out.
Thank you. On traffic calming, I was hoping Giovanni would be joining us, but I don't see him here. I'm going to try to cover that. And Carlos, if I mess it up, please let me know. But the city did hold a public meeting on it. If you're not aware of it, it's improving the traffic flow at the airport. It's, I think, an improvement for both the airport and the neighborhood. Essentially what it is all vehicles arriving currently as they do through the main entrance. If you're dropping off at the terminal, you'll continue in the same fashion as you do today, but the pickups will be totally different. Instead of looping back, you'll continue to face the same direction when you come in, and they will be installing a small rotary at the intersection of Dean and Burr Street, and there's a gate, there's a gate there right now. So the cars would exit from arrivals out through that rotary and either go up Lay Street, back on Burr, or continue out straight out Burr to Townsend. So I think it's a major improvement. It will also improve the idling. You know, from our vantage point up in this office, we get to see the traffic, and when it snakes around from the main entrance all the way back through Lot C, there's a lot of cars waiting to get out. So this will improve the flow and disperse the traffic and reduce the number of vehicles on Fort Hale. So we really look forward to that. We're hoping that we could have that in the spring, possibly. Is there anything I missed on that, Carlos, or anyone?
I'll just throw in that the recording of the meeting is on our website, along with a PDF download of the presentation that went along with it, for anybody who's looking to do some further research or look back at the meeting we held.
Thank you.
I have a
Yeah,
question.
and I'll just add Giovanni, so I apologize for Giovanni's absence. He's on vacation, which is very rare for him, but he's got to burn some time. And he's still on a 3-hour meeting with FEMA about a brick grant, but he's not here. He's not technically not working. The only other update I would have is there were some concerns raised, and Tom Cavalier has been great about this, but there were some concerns raised about, there's always a cause and effect, right? So there's some concerns raised about the Townsend Avenue traffic increase. So I think Giovanni and I and Sandeep too feel that we have counts already on Townsend, and we think we can we'll bring those to bear on some of the questions that folks have, and we think that will alleviate some of the fears that folks have on the extra traffic. I also think the issues of what school let out, right, Tom? I think we can work. I think we can work around that, right? If that means we, get some people out there directing traffic at some really high volume times or something like that. We feel like we can, this is not a 8-hour. This is just very specific times. There might be some
Yeah, I think the benefit.
some complication with school let out.
Yeah.
And Rose has a question.
Yeah, it's not just the school let out. One of the concerns that I heard is exactly what you're talking about from people who go to the East Shore Management Team meeting. And I think, Tom, you go. I don't know if they discuss it or not because I don't go, but they call me. It's that there's so much traffic and double parked cars in front of the school when it's time to drop off and pick up, especially when it's time to pick up, that if a lot of Tweed traffic is going to go in front of the school, it would be slowing down the people who want to catch a flight or, whatever. I mean, I don't know if it's going to go in that direction towards the airport, if it's only going to go away from the airport, but it is definitely congested there. And there's one traffic crossing guard, and they stop the cars for all the people who want to cross, which I've been stuck at that guard stop, and it can go on for minutes. So again, for people, if they have to catch a flight or whatever, and for the safety of children and parents picking up, I don't know if going in front of the school is the best option. And I'm assuming you've thought about all the other options.
Yeah, I think Giovanni did a good analysis looking at the multiple options. And to your point about departing, this is for the arriving flights that will be trafficking through there. The departing will still come down Fort Hale.
Right. So nothing's perfect, right? But I think you're ameliorating the traffic on Fort Hale like 30-40%, like 40% almost, I think. So, and that street is just probably not made to be trafficked as heavily as it is. Whereas I think Townsend, is obviously made for two-way traffic and things like that.
Someone, and I'm assuming, again, I don't know, I haven't spoken to Giovanni, but I'm assuming that they were there or someone was there when it's time to pick the kids up, because if you've ever been there, both sides, you're talking about two-way traffic,
Right.
Both sides of the street, and there's not enough for parked cars, which means they overlap into the roads in either direction. The mothers, the parents, whatever, wait there, the school buses. It's very congested at that time. It's like, I don't know, 40 minutes. And that's
Yeah.
just something to be aware of because it really is congested.
Yeah. And it is. It's a peak time. You're right. We need to look at that. And I'm pretty sure they're trying to address that as best as possible, Rose. So thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, we, and Tom and Giovanni have addressed everybody that's had a specific complaint. We've responded to them, and we'll get back out to the community, and try to, do our best to answer as many of these questions as we can. But I think we're pretty committed to this direction, I think, because, they're, like I said, I mean, there's no perfect solution, but we feel like this does at least spread some of the,
It's an improvement.
It's an improvement.
A net improvement.
Is it possible to have the flights arrive so that they're on either side of the pickup before the school is emptied and after the school is emptied? Is that something that's being looked into so that we're not, like tripling and quadrupling the amount of cars in front of the school?
What you might be able to do is do like a lot of schools I see like do not enter between 2:30 and 3:30 or something like that. So you limit the traffic during those times when the schools, either
But they don't enter the school. That's what I'm saying, Jeremy. They park on Townsend, and when they park on both sides of Townsend, their cars overlap into the ongoing.
No, I know. So it'd be like a do not like. So we would you like say like whatever the primary route is over there, like whether it's Burr or Lay, like you do like a do not enter between the hours of 2:30 and 3:30. So no traffic. Everyone would go. You kind of reroute.
Yeah,
I'm just
Yeah,
throwing it
you're
out.
pushing.
Go take a right on Burr. Like you can
we
only
may
go
be
right on
able to
Burr
use
between
that
2:30 and
sign
3:30.
that you have, Michael, and put it out there, no
Yep.
traffic or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, between these hours, go back
Yeah.
up
Right.
and go this way. So
And
it is,
once people get used to that,
yeah,
once people get used to that traffic flow, they'll know to do that every single day. And a lot
Yeah.
of schools, what they do is they line up behind and they dismiss from the school. And it's such a short period of time. It's an hour in the morning, maybe an hour at night.
Yeah.
So
The other thing,
I don't
I'm looking at my notes
see
here.
it
The other
being too
thing
much.
we, Rose, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, I wasn't speaking.
The other thing I would add is, we can put, we're working on, putting signage to direct when, like changeable, there's a word for VMS signage that would direct people north, towards Hall Street, let's say, so that would not everybody, so they would go back out so they wouldn't necessarily all go up, Burr Street, and that could take them, that could then take that. So those are just sort of quick traffic interventions that the city could do. Direct people north when they get out and, send them back down towards Hall Street, let's say.
And the other thing, and I just thought of that because I'm thinking of the intersection of Burr and Townsend, I completely forgot the Catholic Church and masses. They do the same thing for whatever reason, even though there's a parking lot behind the church, and even though there's a parking lot in the school behind the school, people park on Townsend, and Townsend is not set up on either side of the two-way lanes for cars to park. They overlap.
Oh.
So it's just something to think about. Masses, I don't know. I mean, I don't go to church. I don't know if masses are Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, but the bottom line is if you have flights and you have these cars double parked on both sides of the street between the school and the church on this certain days and hours, you just have to think about liability and possible accidents, I think.
Rose,
So
I
don't know.
go Sunday morning and there's no flights at that time, so.
Okay. Thanks
no
for going to
problem.
church, Tom. Pray for me.
All right.
And the rest of
Great
us
for
while
all
you're
of us.
at it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on that? Thank you. Michael, can you give us an update on the Revo hydrogen?
Sure. So Revo, just again, point of reference, Revo is a company that is in the hydrogen business as far as hydrogen dispensing. They actually have their own production facility up in Holyoke, Mass. And we've been talking to them for quite a while around adding, kind of a hydrogen dispensing unit here at the airport. The intent, was always around, converting our two existing shuttle buses to hydrogen, and then also adding an additional airport vehicle, that would be hydrogen, so that we could really test hydrogen versus we have we also have electric vehicles here, true EVs here at the airport that we have charging stations for. So it'd be a good data set, and we've always wanted to kind of look at hydrogen as an alternative to electric, from a zero emissions standpoint. So working with Revo and working with the city kind of on this hydrogen dispensing unit, and I wouldn't say it's a fueling station, it's just a dispensing unit where you take hydrogen canisters are already bottled, and then you're basically tapping into those and filling the vehicle. So So I know that I just had a note from Revo with a few other questions. So we continue down that journey. I think it's worthwhile to explore anything that can be zero emissions, whether it be hydrogen or electric, or any other kind of sustainable fuels. And so we're still working through that journey, and I think hopefully have more substantive update at the next meeting.
Thank you, Mike. And along the same lines, as it goes to electric meter buses, we've applied for a voluntary airport low emissions grant or avail grant. And Michael, that I believe is for the for two electric buses is what we're looking to get, correct?
Yeah, so I think technically, I think we're under that ZEV grant, Tom, but it's all under Vail or ZEV, but it's so zero, EV, but it's all part of an FAA, program, Vail and ZEV. So we applied for two fully electric EV shuttle buses, passenger buses. I think there were 14 people, passenger buses, Jeremy, one street sweeper, which Jeremy and I have been at our eye on a street sweeper since I got here 2 years ago. So we'd love to have one of these EV street sweepers. So basically it goes around and you've got the vacuum, you can vacuum out your storm drains, you can it's the ones that the city, same time as the ones that the city uses to kind of, clean the curbs and kind of clean up, debris in the road and all those things. So we'd use it for the parking areas and kind of roadways and areas within the airport. So it has a vacuum to it, so fully electrified. And then also two fully electric zero turn mowers. So to be able to for mowing grass on the land side or out on the airfield. So so two buses, a sweeper / vacuum truck, and then two zero turn mowers. We applied. The deadline was early November, so that was right around election day, and hopefully we'll have some idea of what the FAA's grant awards are, after early 2025.
Great, Michael. That's a big move towards trying to, convert some of the fleet over. And also, can you touch on what you're doing on the ground service equipment side for the aircraft?
Yeah, so we just continue to look to try and have as much kind of plug-in or electrified service as we can. So we're just going to do some small electrical work along the fence over by Lot C to add some outlets over there, so that if we need to plug in GSE equipment or anything that can be plugged in and can be electrified or charged, is batteries or anything like that, is done over there. So all working towards again trying to reduce as much emissions as we can and make use of the infrastructure that we have to be able to go to again reduce our overall footprint. So
Great. Thanks, Michael. That's good job. You recall we did that survey, and these are all part of those things that they're implementing, trying to get to the zero emissions and reducing greenhouse gas effects. So before we wrap it up, any questions, comments, thoughts? All right. The next meeting is February 18th at 2
It looks like, sorry to interrupt, Tom. Looks like Rose has a question.
I know, I'm so sorry. I muted myself because my neighbor's power washing. So I saw Breeze
that needs to
planes
be an
there.
electric power washer,
Yeah.
Rose,
Yes,
too.
I'm
by the
gonna
way.
send him to you, Michael.
So you're telling me
I'm
it's
gonna-
louder than the airplanes, right?
I don't complain about the noise, and I'm a half a block away. I must be in that little pocket, where it's not bad. but I do know that some people are definitely upset with the noise. So all of this information about trying to remediate it is good news eventually. Breeze, when do they start their daily?
They
You know.
started December 10th.
They already did?
Yes.
Because I have
we
no
could
idea.
go,
I'll
we
have,
could
I'll have to
go,
go check out the website because I don't know when the flights come and go.
yeah, so we could go today, Rose. It was the first flight, so last Tuesday.
Yeah, they started with a couple of cities and they're going to be adding in, I think, February.
I
And
haven't
it is-
noticed it, you know.
It's a different airplane. It's much quieter.
It's a lot smaller because I saw it next to the Velo planes and I could see the difference in
Yeah,
size.
it's about 100, what is it, 100 and some seats, Jeremy?
100 and, what is Jeremy,
120 maybe?
140 or 130?
Yeah, it's the seat capacity isn't quite what the 800s do. It's probably closer to what the 700s are, which is 149, somewhere in that ballpark.
And it's also good to note too. So their engines are quieter and more fuel efficient than the previous generation. So it's certainly a top of the line aircraft.
And made right here in Connecticut.
Yep.
Just some unsolicited feedback, I think, Tom C from Ed Fitzgerald. He seemed to notice that the Breeze aircraft was quieter.
Yeah, it's exciting to see people can really tell a difference.
I was sitting in the conference room today, and typically you can hear when a Boeing takes off, but there was an A220 taking off on 20 to the south, and I didn't even hear him
Yeah.
from inside. So it is quite a bit of difference. It's interesting.
Trust me, we appreciate it here. So, before I wrap up, I wanted to just let everyone know I spoke to Ken a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if anybody's talked to him, but he's dealing with some physical challenges, but he's in good spirits. He was feeling great when I spoke to him. And so his treatments are working, and he was hoping to be here. I don't know if he's going to be in a board meeting tomorrow, but we keep him in our prayers and wish him well. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for reminding me. I'll give him a call as well. He served this city, this region for a long time. So
yeah.
Oh, the only other thing I'll add on a sort of a positive note as well to Rose's, I'll get us out of here. I know by 2:30, but to Rose's point, really excited. The mayor's sitting down with the New York Times today to talk of our mayor, New Haven's mayor, to talk about the positive impact of Breeze and Avelo coming to the region. So jobs and really just focusing on jobs and the airport growth and and access to places like Research Triangle for our industry growth sectors. So just be on the lookout for that as well. We're excited that he had the opportunity.
I always share that information. I always try and paint a full picture because obviously there are positive things about what is happening at the airport, except for the people who don't want an airport here, which I also understand. But yeah, no, most people are not happy with Burr Street. So, I was asked to discourage Burr Street.
Yep.
Burr Street, it's a tongue twister. And I brought up the points that people made. And I hope you guys do check it out as far as how tight that is between the school and the church when people are parked.
I think it's manageable because it is only during certain times, and there's things that we can do to try to, dissuade people from using it during those times. So.
Right. I mean, that's what we're saying. Well, for half an hour half an hour, 5 days a week, we can push them north and away from Burr Street, and then the rest of the time, they would be, there's a traffic.
I just have one question. When you say push them and people will make a different route, we're talking about people from the airport, not the local people who use towns and everything, because they're not going to get them to do that.
Yeah,
Just when an arrival would let out from the school, we could, you have those electric signs that where you can customize the message and flash them on and off at a certain time, and you would just say arrivals, please take northern route for the and obviously people don't have to do it, but then it would direct folks that way, and then the rest of the time during the week there's a net traffic benefit, we think, for those folks that live on Hall and Fort Hale in particular. So things like that. I mean, and I'm just sort of previewing that. I think, some of the folks on this call are aware of that because they were in the meeting and they talked to Giovanni. Also, Giovanni Rose, you can always give him a call as well.
Oh, Giovanni and I do talk,
you guys
believe
know,
me.
but,
I think he sees my number pop up and he recognizes it.
right.
The other thing is, I know in the future, when the airport moves supposedly more towards the East Haven side, that will also start changing traffic direction, won't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so just to throw in quickly too, to recognize that this is also, this is a temporary solution to provide some relief. And then of course the ultimate, relocation of our center of gravity from here to the new terminal will be what fundamentally addresses a lot of the major concerns around traffic and ground noise around the existing terminal.
Yeah, I think then obviously I don't speak for New Haven. I don't live there and I don't know their concerns, although I know their concerns are similar as far as congestion, noise, pollution, et cetera. I'm sure you're still going to be dealing with it. You'll just be dealing with it from another end. And, that's the hard part about having an airport in the middle of residential areas. It does make it difficult to deal with the people who are unhappy, no matter where you are, New Haven or East Haven. So, all right, well, let's make a meeting time for the next one, right?
Yep. Next meeting, February 18th at 2:00. And until then, happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate.
Happy, safe holidays to everyone.
You as well.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.